Hello and good afternoon. Today is Wednesday, February 7th, 2024. We're in Fogelsville, Pennsylvania. It's my lunch break, so I thought we'd take a little walk on the tracks real quick. We're walking on an industrial spur here. It's still used every day. It's used by the Norfolk Southern, Catasauqua, and Fogelsville Secondary is what they call this. Quite a lucrative little railroad spur. So I believe a lot of these industrial spurs date back to the late 70s, early 80s. The reason I say that is because the line that they branch off of was constructed in 1907 to supply the Lehigh Portland Cement Company in Fogelsville. So I've done some videos about them before. They were a big corporation out here, built in 1907, lasted up into the 70s. And coming up on the line that would have served them, that would have been a line that would have branched off of the Catasauqua and Fogelsville main line about a mile east of here. So that's what this line is right here. That actually is the line that came off the main. That was built around 1906, 1907. So that means that would have been built by the Reading Company. In 1893, the Philadelphia and Reading were reorganized as the Reading Company. And in that same year, 1893, the Reading leased the Catasauqua and Fogelsville. Now later in 1944, I believe it was, the Catasauqua and Fogelsville would just become completely under Reading control. So there's a line on the other side of these bushes here that services cold storage. That would have been the original line built through this area to service the Lehigh Portland Cement Factory. That would have been about a quarter mile off in that direction. Only thing that remains of that is the quarries they used to harvest the limestone to make the cement. So we're walking on a spur now that would have been put in probably late 70s, possibly early 80s. After Lehigh Cement was gone, the land was reclaimed. This land that we're walking on right now would have still been farmland. Would have started to slowly have been being developed in the probably early 70s. But this building here, which used to have service, this is the building I work in, but I work on the other half. This used to be one, I believe, auto parts dealer or distributor of some sort, but they encompass the entire building. It's now split in half. So one company on the side with the tracks and the doors. That is not the company I work for, though. I work on the other side of the building here. So I've looked at some historic aerials, and it looks like all this was starting to be redeveloped in the late 70s, early 80s. Different industrial spurs coming in and whatnot. Some are still active, some aren't. I just thought this would be neat to show you, since I know a lot of people don't get the chance to see something like this, and I'm fortunate enough that I can take my breaks right up there on that stoop and watch trains if I want to, which is kind of cool. This spur to our left, I've never seen a train run on it. As you can see, the rails are quite rusty. Well, we'll go over and look. Compared to everyday service. Don't know how long that's been inactive for. I've worked out of this building here since 2018. This is the only line I ever see trains on. The shiny rails here. It's interesting to know, though, that the line that these lines branch off of, this one here, that one here, they all come off of a Reading line. So what I don't know is if these were constructed by the Reading, or if they were put in, say, 1977, 1978, That would be Conrail time. I think Conrail was 1976 when it took over the Reading, along with all the other eastern railroads. So technically, we could be walking on a Conrail bed. I'm really not sure about that. Let's see if I can dig that up. Like I said, if you look at the historic aerials, it looks like mid to late 70s, early 80s is when all this industrial complex starts getting put in. So the reason I wanted to walk you up here, there's a piece of rail on the ground that was recently replaced, and it's got a date on it I wanted to show you guys. The industries that I know of that get switched on these rails here, I believe this is some sort of dry storage for food or who knows what. There's a paper distributor up the way. I don't know if they're a distributor, but they're a paper company. And then cold storage behind me. We have a plastics injection molding with plastics across the street. I know they get plastic delivered there too. So here's the rail that was left behind. I thought this was pretty neat. It's another piece of Carnegie steel. And we got a 1923 stamp on it. What month were we? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. September. 130 pound open hearth. So I thought that was pretty neat. All right, folks. I guess that's it for today. I'm gonna call it a good lunch when I get to do this. Talk to y'all later. Be safe.